In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Movo X1 Supercardioid shotgun microphone. They did send this sample for review, but as always, it does not affect our opinion in any way. We'll just go ahead and get into the box here to start. You can see that the first thing we have here is this really nice carrying case for kind of storing everything. And within the carrying case, we do have a sticker, it looks like, super nice, and then the user manual, and then a kind of card about leaving them feedback. Underneath here, we have a ball head, which is super nice, a sturdy metal ball head for kind of mounting it to a tripod or something. So it is nice to be able to really position it however you would like to. Looks like the kind of adapter for the cable here, as you can see, the XLR to looks like a kind of aux. Underneath here, it looks like this is kind of the grip or sort of extension handle, as you can see, this piece here. Then we do have a tripod for mounting it, of course. Super nice. It's plastic, but still feels very sturdy, and it compacts up really nicely, which is cool. We have the microphone itself, of course, pretty decent weight to it. It does have a filter on the top, which you can take off and see the actual microphone itself. And finally, underneath here, we have the actual piece that mounts it, of course. So this is what will, hold the microphone, and then you can mount it with a hot shoe to a camera. So that's available, or it does have the tripod threading on the bottom as well. So you can either mount it directly to this tripod or use this extension. This extension, again, it can be used as a handle, so you can kind of mount it like this and then hold it as a handle, which is great. And this on the bottom has a tripod threading as well, so if you wanted to do it like that, then you can use it both as a handle and as a tripod. So it is a really cool little setup, or again, you can just mount it directly to the camera using that hot shoe, as you prefer. In the back here, it looks like we have a few more accessories. Looks like we have this sort of windscreen here. That's great if you're using it outdoors. We have a USB-C cable to a USB-A cable. Then we have a sort of normal 3.5mm aux cable. Two of those actually. This one's just a little bit longer, it looks like. We have another USB-C to USB-C cable, and that looks like it's everything. So if you wanted to use this with an XLR cable, you do have this adapter here, which is nice. So you can just kind of plug this into here like that, and then it will be ready to use with XLR, depending on what you're wanting to output to, which is great. So nice to have all those options, but we'll go ahead and get it set up on a camera here and show you what it looks like. All right, so this is just what it looks like when it is mounted to a camera here. You can see that we do have it mounted with the hot shoe mount. You're also able to unscrew this part and then adjust the distance from the front of the lens. So if you wanted to mount it forward or further backwards, anything like that, you're able to do that depending on where your subject is, as well as the length of your lens or that sort of thing. So it's nice to be able to adjust it in that sense as well. We do currently have it connected with the 3.5mm cable, so that's pretty normal for using a camera, but depending on what device you're using, you can connect it also via USB-C. So if you're wanting to connect it to a MacBook or to your phone or iPad or something like that, then you can do that via the USB-C cable if you prefer not to use that 3.5mm. So a bunch of different connection options, which is also really nice. And in terms of the controls on the microphone itself here, we do have some high-pass filters. There's a 75Hz one and then a 150Hz one. And then directly below that, we have the high frequency boost indicator. Those are all controlled with this button at the top here. But then using this power button, we can enable a safety channel and then a minus 20 decibel pad, just to hopefully kind of protect your recordings from distortion and that sort of thing. So if you're recording in a situation where there could be potentially a really sharp or high volume object falling or something like that, then you're able to kind of have that backup recording and then minus 20 decibel pad, again, just to hopefully save your recording. And towards the back, we have a gain adjuster as well. It's a very smooth little wheel along the back that spins from 0 all the way up to 10. So depending on the kind of thing you're recording, you're able to adjust all of that gain directly in the microphone rather than having to do it in post, which is super nice. And then again, for the controls, we have just the USB-C connection, we have the aux input, and then we do have a headphone jack output as well if you would like to monitor your audio in real time. So definitely a lot of controls built into the microphone rather than having to do it all in post. So that's super nice. And for the microphone itself, you can see after we take off this filter here, just kind of what it looks like. So if you're not wanting to use the filter, you're able to just have it like this as well, of course. It is a Supercardioid microphone, so you're going to have most of the audio coming from the front with a bit from the sides. It's going to mostly reject things that are behind the microphone, of course, given the nature of the microphone. But it does look very nice, and you do have this filter option or the wind one that we showed earlier. So definitely a lot of customization in terms of the positioning of it, the kind of filters, and then the digital filters as well. So a lot of control over your audio overall when using this microphone. Another setup option for this is this sort of grip and tripod combo. Of course, you're able to use one or the other, but I think stacking them like this gives you a sort of mini boom pole, which is cool. So you're able to hold it from here or here or whatever, just to give you some more grip if you're using it as a sort of boom arm. Of course, it is also a tripod, so you can extend this tripod and then use it on a desk or something similar. You can connect via USB-C and connect it to your computer or anything like that, and then you do have it on a desk. So if you're wanting to do some voiceovers or something like that, then you do have that tripod option, which is super nice. But again, of course, just if you're kind of running and gunning with this, I think it's really cool to have it in this mode where you're able to just hold it from kind of wherever you want and you just have a pretty good surface area to hold. The grip is very grippy. It's a nice rubber kind of textured material, so feels very good in the hand, and so it's definitely a really good setup for this. Another cool feature of the mic here, as you can see, is that when it does detect an audio source, these lights sort of go up. So depending on the volume of the source and everything, it will go ahead and light up these lights. So it's pretty cool. It does give you a sort of indicator that it is actually picking something up, of course, as well as the volume of that. So it might indicate that you do need to turn on that minus 20 decibel pad or something like that, just depending on, you know, how many of these lights are turning on. But I think it's a pretty cool feature that it does give you some pretty solid feedback that it is picking up what's going on in front of the microphone. In terms of audio quality, this is just a test with it connected to the iPad using USB-C. So again, you are able to connect it via USB-C or that 3.5mm port. So a couple different connection options, but again, the audio quality is very good. It is very sensitive, of course, given the kind of microphone. So if you're going to be very close to it, you will hear those sort of pops and crackles and things. But of course, you can get rid of a decent amount of that with different filters, both digital and physical. So it is a very good quality microphone overall. It's great for anything kind of in front of the microphone, so specific sound effects or vocals or voice recordings, anything like that. So it is a very solid microphone overall. I'm very happy with the audio quality, and it does come with a ton of different attachments and accessories and everything like that. And I do think it's really cool that you're able to customize the audio a bunch on the actual microphone itself. So overall, I'm very happy with the microphone. I think it's a very solid purchase for a wide variety of use cases, whether you're doing voiceovers on your computer or using it as a shotgun mic attached to your camera. There are a bunch of different use cases, and it does come with all the accessories to support that. So I think it's definitely a very solid purchase overall.